Hello guys, Matthew Lobbins from Matthew Weather Center here to talk about the strange power we've been having in this late July, early August time period with the very cool, unseasonably very cool weather that's been happening. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is the main factor of that and what to expect coming into late August and September forecast. That is going to be a little preview for my fall forecast, which will hopefully be out on MatthewWeatherCenter.com pretty soon, and also on my Twitter. So basically, guys, what we're looking at today is the Pacific North American pattern. Now, what this is calls PNA. So the PNA is basically we're basically blocking at the Northwest Pacific Ocean. Now, what we want to look for to have cold weather is a positive PNA. As you can see, it's very positive. It's up around the 4 number, and that is what you want for a cold weather. Now, what does that mean? So basically, positive PNA means you get a drop in the east, you get a ridge in the west, so hot weather in the west, cool or cold weather in the east. Now, what happens here is when you have a ridge of high pressure on the western slope of the Northwest Pacific, basically it's a kind of a blocking pattern. So basically, it pulls down the cold weather from Canada and pushes it down to the United States, so the Central Plains, eastern United States is going to get that. So right now, and you can see it's been very, very cool the past few days, and there might be some brief warning trends in here, but what we've seen is a very cool pattern. Now, as you can see, it's been highly positive for about the few couple of days where it's been cold, so that's where you can see that. It's been positive, and it's going to be rain positive, basically heading in to the middle of August. Now, this is where the pattern will shift just a little bit, not a ton. So between the August 16th, August 20th, August 22nd period, you might have a brief warm-up and maybe some 90-degree weather. The heat dome probably will come back, but it's not going to stick along for very long. After that, it goes back to positive. Now you guys can have really considered positive PNA. You guys probably finish my sentence. Means cold weather. So what's going to happen here is you're going to get more Canadian air masses to come back down to the United States in August and late August. Now, what's interesting to me right now is September 1st. Now, that looks to me to be a very high positive PNA. Now, it could mean cold weather, could not mean, but usually when you consider PNA and cold weather, it's basically you want a positive. And this is very highly positive. So what I'm looking at here is this is going to be a very cold little couple of days. But the thing is, it goes really steep. It goes really on September 1st. It's highly positive. It is a steep downslope to negative. So what I'm looking at is first frost coming not to Kansas, not to Nebraska, up by Minnesota and Wisconsin, up by that area. But what I'm predicting right now for September is a very cool, maybe even cold at the end, September. Now, this could be an early frost for some of us here in Kansas. I'm not saying it's going to be the 1st of September, no. It's going to be late September, late, so about the 20th to the 31st of September, 30th of September. That's going to be your time frame for maybe frost. And what I'm looking at right now is it does go back to negative. Now, that's just a little bit of a day stretch for negative. That could mean just a little bit of a heat wave coming back, and it goes back to positive, probably cold, and it goes back to negative. Now, what I'm looking at in the malls now is that middle of September, this looks to be kind of, to me, this is a little weird because it has been negative, so you associate that with warm weather. I associate it with warm weather. And you can see this is basically, the white is basically the EPS, this is what it thinks. The blue, the green is this 50 members of models suggesting, oh yeah, I'm just going to go with the EPS right now. Don't say that, oh, the EPS is wrong, because it could be wrong. It could be. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's going to be. But what I'm saying right now is, the interesting part comes in the middle of September, which I'm going to talk about right now. It goes back to negative, so you associate with that with heat. But that's not what the EPS says. It has a little heat wave again for that. But after the 15th of September, that is going to be where people up north, South Dakota, maybe into Nebraska, they could get their first frost beginning of there. And heading into the late September, this is what it looks like to me, is it's going to get pretty cool, and maybe even cold. Maybe our first frost in Kansas. Now, this is the PNA, so it's just a forecast model. It's going to change, but the CFS shows it, the CFS V2 monthly shows it, the European weekly show it, the EPS weekly show it. So it's just a consistent it's just a consistent model run. It's been consistent in the model runs about the cold weather. Now, I'm not going to show you the whole time frame of August through September. Now, I'm not going to do that. We're going to look at now, and we'll look at the CFS first. So, what I'm saying is consistently, guys. CFS. There it is, cool September, but you can see there's a really warm September basically up in the northwest. So that's going to keep us in the cool weather for basically some time. And the CFS has to be a little bit cool, not terribly cold, but that's something to watch out for right there. CFS agrees with the cold weather. I agree with the cold weather on that day, definitely. And we'll see what happens there. So September, in my opinion, looks like a cool month. First frost could be happening in the late September for us here in Kansas, in my opinion. That's just my opinion right now, though. See if that keeps. Mulron's keep on saying that and saying, yeah, I think that's basically there. I've had a lot of meteorologists agree with me on this. Definitely Michael Clark. You can look him up on meteorologist Michael Clark. Look him up on Twitter. But they've had a lot of agreements with that, and I agree with that too. So that's the. So basically now, guys, we're looking at the upper dynamics in the atmosphere, the 100 millibar, 500 millibar high anomaly. And what we're looking here is a trough. Trough right in the middle of the United States, northwest flow right down to Kansas, as you can see, northwest flow right here, right down to Kansas, right there, northwest flow. And this is where, in my opinion, this is a spot where we could have our first frost in September, early September, is up here. This is the spot, not right there, about right in this area right here, where I'm pointing, like this right here. This might be the first area for frost this year. Up in Wisconsin, up in Minnesota, that's, in my opinion, where the first frost is going to be. Let's do right click. That's where the first frost is going to be, in my opinion. But I might be wrong. I mean, I could be wrong again, but this upper pattern is really telling me that it basically is going to be a cold month, and for September standards, we're not going to get below freezing temperatures. That for lows at the beginning of September now, but the late September you can get below average. You can get below freezing in September, and this is what a place I think heading into October. Usually the first frost is October 16th, so it's going to be early. So it's going to be either September 30th or between September 20th and October 10th. For Kansas City, the first average frost is October 16th. It's going to be way before that. It's going to be between September 20th and October 5th. I'm going to predict there. And for me, the frost we are going to get frost at during that time, in my opinion, is about right here. This is the area right there, the red area. That's where people are going to get frost at. I'll make this bigger. About right there. This is where I think people are going to get frost at to begin in September. Now, that's the upper dynamic. Now let's look at the temperature up in the upper atmosphere. This is the ensemble for September 15th. Now, I showed you it goes into negative, and I think it's going to turn back to positive. This is what's shown right now. Way below average temperatures, -10 for the minimum, and 13.2 for the max. So that's really cold. That's cold air. This is really cold air. So just letting you guys know, it's going to be a very, very uncertain September, but I'm guessing it's going to be a cold September for me. This is just an early thought. I'm going to hopefully get my full forecast up pretty soon, about 2 weeks, so look out for that. Also follow me on my Twitter at BobbinsGWX. I post a lot about weather and a lot about So yeah, if you guys want to see more from me, head over to my weather website to see the latest weather warnings, information, everything like that. What's going to be happening soon, I'm going to bring out my fall outlook on this weather website. And also, if you guys want to see weather forecast, it's also be on here. Also, if you want to see more weather updates, go follow me on Twitter. I post a lot about basically right now about fall. I'll be posting a lot about winter pretty soon. So if you guys want to see more weather information, please follow my Twitter. I hope you guys really enjoyed that weather information video. I love doing them, so it's a great privilege for me. Hopefully Fall Outlook will be on here pretty soon, and hopefully I'll be posted pretty soon. I really enjoyed doing it. So that was my weather update for this evening. Have a great evening, everyone, and I'll see you in the next weather video.